Hey peeps, I'm so happy to be sitting here with you guys and finally getting to record my springtime witchy chat with you all. Beltane is in just a few days and I'm really feeling this gorgeous return to spring and just like the opening of creating and welcoming in new. In that really beautiful way that I think you can, we get such a profound glimpse of this time of year. So let's have a sip of tea together, my dears, because I didn't know if I was going to get here. April was a tough month, and I guess it's still technically April now. I feel like there's been a shift for me though, and we had a school vacation last week, so it was a long week. I'm very happy to be here with you all now. One lovely thing that Vincent and I did do over the school vacation week, though, was travel to Portland, Maine, to the Portland Headlight to go see the oldest lighthouse in Maine. And when we lived in Portland, we spent a lot of time at that park. So we had a wonderful time. And the weather was actually really beautiful. Some of you may know it really hasn't felt like spring here. It does today, but and it did when we went to go to see the Portland Headlight. We had just a gorgeous day. Not a cloud in the sky, blue, not too warm, not too cold, just beautiful. And there was so much space for Vincent and his best friend to play soccer and football, and it was a really lovely day. So that was wonderful, and that felt like a kind of re-entering the world again after needing to be cocooned and take things slow towards the middle of April due to the loss of a person very close to us, as I've talked a little bit about on the channel. So it's wonderful to feel that breath of fresh air, and I felt such a connection again to Venus. It's been really profound. It's amazing the older I get and the more and more that I experience this, the level of trust I have when a specific face of deity comes in, and then kind of like the turnover. I feel like there's always, the more conscious and aware I become of this, the more profound and really beautiful the shift is when it happens. And I felt the shift start probably about 2 weeks ago. I've been trying to make this video and haven't been able to. And so now finally getting a chance to record this, I can say like I feel the turnover has fully happened, moving from a space of working really intimately with Lilith. And yes, though I do have a workshop coming. I will have all the information listed for that up on YouTube and on the Etsy shop once that's available. It's coming together. It took a little bit longer than I thought, but also Lilith is no easy taskmaster. So, you know, if you're going to work and create connected to her energy and embodying her energy, it's going to get serious, isn't it? As well as sexy. So feeling her shift into and over, kind of passing the baton, if you will, or passing the candle to Dark Venus has been really beautiful. And I felt a real need to clarify that it's Dark Venus's energy coming forward because, you know, I am still moving through a process of grieving myself. But also I felt that Venus in her kind of dirtier face, if you will, her darker face, her lusty face, her face of empowered sexuality, I felt that it's important to claim that this is the essence coming through. My walking with Venus last year in her light face was profoundly healing, and I really needed that space and that time with her. And so meeting this other face of her, and, you know, also this sister to her, in my opinion, Black Madonna, that has felt really exciting and has involved listening to a lot of King Woman. I will try and put a link to Celestial Blues, which is one of my favorite King Woman albums. But that kind of gritty, in the trenches beauty, the poetry of the soul piece has really been speaking to me. And so to feel that turnover, which, as I said, the more conscious I get about that, the more very, very real that turnover becomes, and you can feel the shift start energetically. I felt, in this case, Lilith slowly removing her energy from being intimately connected with my own, and then passing the kind of energetic opening to Dark Venus. And to feel Dark Venus begin to energetically move in, and the way that that energy spirals as it unites and connects with my own has just been really profound, and a space where, I don't know, I felt so blessed to just be able to enjoy feeling that changeover and being able to be really still with it in a way that in the past perhaps I haven't been able to. And I've really found so much of my practice and the growth of my practice has had to do with being able to sit still with myself. And I think, you know, if there's something to have in your toolkit, it's that ability to sit still and be with yourself. First of all, to be with your emotions so that you can be grounded and open in your ability to receive and be present. And so much of the energetic healing work I've engaged in with deity for myself over the last month has had to do with relaxing enough to allow myself to receive. And that's been a profound teaching that, you know, it doesn't require a huge investment of money. It requires, though, believing enough and loving yourself enough to give yourself the gift to sit with yourself, which for a lot of us is very difficult and uncomfortable to do. But I can say, each time I maneuver through that catabasis, that underworld, and I'm able to sit and be with myself, the payoff is so completely worth it. From a spiritual perspective, from a fulfillment perspective, and also for how I'm able to be with myself, but also with the people in my life, to be able to bring that stillness and presence to those interactions with others is just profound. So I've been shifting from Lilith to Dark Venus in my spiritual work. I really have felt that I've been moving through a catabasis, and as I rise up through the underworld, I've actually felt Persephone a little bit too. And I know so many of you love Persephone, and please, I'm not saying that I don't love Persephone. I do love Persephone. I think that she hasn't been a core deity for me. And I read for a lot of you who work very intimately with Persephone. So I feel in a way like I know her, but we aren't intimate acquaintances, if that makes sense. We've kept it to a level of engagement where maybe I always have an out. But as I've come up out of this catabasis in April, I've felt a kind of a waving to Persephone in a different way for myself than I have in the past with her. So I'm excited to see what that energy will bring. I almost feel that I'll be working with her more towards the end of May. That right now really is my time with Dark Venus to celebrate. You know, it's going to be my 40th birthday on the 14th. And I'm looking forward to celebrating that story too. And I think the goddess of my ruling planet is appropriate to celebrate that with. So that's kind of what I've been exploring on my spiritual path. I'm going to be sharing all kinds of things in this video because it is one of our witchy and non-witchy chat videos. So don't worry, there's more coming. But I wanted to talk about what I've been reading from a spiritual perspective. I've been doing a lot of work with the Death Doula Oracle, which was gifted to me by one of my dearest friends. This is a profound deck, and I will have a review coming to the channel. But the Death Doula Oracle and the Sacred Symbols Oracle, those two guidebooks and also just the imagery from these cards has really been profound in my own healing and grieving process over the last few weeks, but also in like understanding my emotional terrain. And so when I do my review for this deck, I am going to offer some a card spread of my own to work with, my own creation, excuse me, to work with for this deck in regards to accessing one's emotional terrain. And I really love the idea of letting that be a terrain, letting that underworld and that space be its own living, breathing, interactive map, if you will, because I think it's helpful to be able to understand ourselves and to not be harsh with ourselves. I've still been using the Archetypes Oracle a great deal. I cannot say enough about how much I love that deck. And then the Tarot Oracle, which was gifted to me by a wonderful viewer. I've really been enjoying working with that too. I felt very connected to spirit animal energy because my beloved turkey vultures have been with me every day. I haven't gone a day without seeing 1, if not 6 turkey vultures, which for me is very much energetic support for where I am on my journey. And so I felt such a profound sense of gratitude towards the spirit animal guidance and the devas that walk with us in that way. It's been really, really joyful to allow that, to receive the love from that energy. So the Tarot Oracle, the Woodland Wardens Oracle, those decks have been really, really profoundly beautiful for me over the last few weeks. The other book that I've been reading is Ambrosia's book of Witchlight, Traveling the Otherworld by Jasmyne Ambrosia. I actually purchased this book myself, although Jasmyne herself had offered for me to send me a copy of the book to read for myself. But I had actually already purchased it. I really love Jasmyne's work. I love her perspective as a witch. She's a witch who's got her hands in her craft. She's very respectful of her craft, and she's really walking her talk. And so I really enjoy watching her content from the perspective of another witch who's living her path. And I feel very seen and welcomed by her content. So I will put a link to her YouTube channel and a link to this book in the description box down below. I haven't finished reading the book yet, but I'm over halfway through at this point. And so I do feel in this video I can talk a little bit about what to expect if you want to purchase it. I will do a full review down the road, probably within a week or two, because like I said, I am almost done recording. So reading. I will be recording a lot today. So I'm not almost done recording today, but I am almost done reading this book. So what I appreciate about this book is that it's very much a personal gnosis. And so you really have a sense of Jasmyne as like an older sister, letting you experience what her practice is like for her as a witch, giving you assistance in exploring that for yourself. But it's not like a step-by-step how-to. Now, that doesn't mean if you want to, let me say this, if you want to understand witch flight and or astral travel and the other world realms, this is a great book for this. Please don't think I'm saying she's not giving you assistance in that, because she is. But it's told more from a perspective of like sharing the journey. And so it feels less like a how-to book or a witchcraft 101 book, and more like if you really want to live this, if you want to understand how to embody this path, then here is an experience to help you feel less alone and more inspired to take accountability and take your path in your desired direction. So to me, it's a very special book in that it's not, we already have a lot of how-to beginner witchcraft books, and please, they do have their place in the craft. I was a baby witch once as well. So I'm in no way saying that those books aren't valuable, but we have a lot of them, and they all, not all of them, but oftentimes to me, they feel like I'm reading like a recipe that someone's handing to me, and then I'm just supposed to go off and like copy verbatim what they're doing. But then I'm supposed to have like an authentic experience that I feel is really my own. That's been my major beef with the how-to witchcraft books over the years. I don't like that do this and you'll be saved type of thing. It smacks too much of Christianity for me. But this book is not like that at all. And while it's definitely very laden with coven history, and also history of real witches, and there's a wealth of wisdom to find within that. And there are so many resources. Like, look at all, you have so many different resources and different ways to connect with specific faces from the other world. Again, and also all these wonderful recipes and guidelines and moons to really start developing your own practice. But what I really love about this book is that Jasmyne lets the impetus for you to embrace that. She leaves that impetus to you. So she inspires you, she shares the journey, but you're in charge of how you're going to take that to your own craft. And so as a well-seasoned solitary witch, I actually enjoyed and am enjoying, I haven't finished the book yet, so I should say I'm enjoying reading things that I'm already practicing myself, and to hear and to read someone else's perspective is just exciting. It's inspiring. It's like, oh my God, someone else feels that, lives this path and feels it as a living, breathing thing so well. So similarly to how I do, it's very inspiring and encouraging. And also I should say, like, my path as a witch, it's not I don't deal in metaphors. Deity is real to me. If deity is not real to you, that's fine. But for me, the other realms, the work that I do from a psychic perspective, from a mediumship perspective, and astral travel, for me, those are very real things. So to have another witch speak really clearly and honestly around that, instead of trying to couch it in like, and I, you know, over the years, I've been guilty of prevaricating around that as well on the channel in its newer stages of, you know, trying to make everything okay for everybody, and speaking and couching things more in broad terms. And it's really refreshing to see someone not be afraid to be really honest, and it encourages and inspires me. So I really recommend this book. And her writing style is very enjoyable. It's a breath of fresh air. It really does feel like you're talking to an older sibling, an older sister who's like, honey, I've done this. Here's my advice, but you go out there and do it yourself too. It's got that type of a feel. And it's also really enjoyable to get to hear someone else's firsthand accounts of how they are experiencing different realms and astral travel and or witch flight within their own practice. So I really do recommend this one. It's very enjoyable. It's very different. And even if you are a seasoned witch, I think you'll still enjoy. I don't think you need to be a newbie to enjoy this book. But if you are new to witchcraft, this does give you a great jumping off point. And I would say this book in conjunction with, with Penzak's Inner Temple of Witchcraft would be a wonderful place to start building your sense of confidence and your intuitive muscles and your witchcraft practice muscles if you are new to witchcraft. So I highly recommend Ambrosia's Book of Witchlight so far. And as I said, once I finish reading the book as a whole, I will have a full review on the channel, because I do want to spread the word about Jasmyne's work. I found her content to be very inspiring and very much appreciated personally as a fellow witch on the path. And then my final share of decks that I have been using, I will put a link to this artist's website down below. This is the Crystal Fire version. This was gifted to me again by the same dear friend and sister who gifted me Death Doula. And it's Rider-Waite Smith, and nothing like what I'm typically drawn to artwork wise, but I've really been having the most loving messages come forward from this deck. And this deck, in union with the Soul Cards Oracle, is really profoundly loving. And it's just a slightly different, no, I shouldn't say slightly, because the artist, from my understanding, Carol Herzer, she really puts a lot of love and presence and soul into her decks. So please don't think I'm denigrating anything she's doing here. But for me, the subtle shifts to the Rider-Waite-Smith traditional artwork, it's very, very enjoyable. And it's kind of opened up as I've moved through, again, my own catabasis and healing from loss over the last month. It's really allowed me to see the landscape of the profound sense of beauty you see when someone leaves their physical body. It's almost like stars erupting in the galaxy. There's this beautiful sense of like expansion and contraction in this multi-layered and light process. And I feel that Carol's colors in this deck, and this may be out of print, so this is a Crystal Fire Tarot. If it is out of print, I do apologize, but I also want to share authentically. The colors that she chose in this palette have really lent themselves well to that depiction I just described of moving from one doorway to another. And so I've actually found this deck to be very healing personally. Haven't really been using it a great deal with others because it's really been about a personal experience for myself. But that's been another deck that I've really been very intimately connected with as I've traversed moving from winter into spring of this year. Okay, so moving on now to witchy adjacent slash not really witchy, but part of what is my witchcraft experience or my spiritual path experience. I wanted to share kind of what I've been reading, what I've been wearing, what I've been putting on for makeup, and what I've been enjoying for scents. So I think I've really been wanting to bring scent into just kind of how I'm moving and maneuvering through my story and experience right now. And I've shared on the channel over the years various perfumes that I really enjoy wearing or like have been signatures for me at certain points in time on my path. And I've really been feeling a call to find a new signature scent. And I wanted to do something different. You know, I'm a Tom Ford girl for the most part when it comes to fragrance, but I decided to explore Seance Perfumes recently. So I purchased their Nosferatu rollerball perfume because, like, how could I not purchase Nosferatu? I mean, hello, the packaging is just made for me. So this one has, oh, I just dropped, there was a stone with it. Oh, a little piece of amethyst. I didn't even realize that was in there. This one has incense, stone, candle wax, strawberries, wine, and rose. And yeah, it smells good. This isn't going to be a signature for me, but I really like it. And I think in the summer, it's going to be nice. This is going to sound kind of funny, but I think Nosferatu will be nice at the beach. So I purchased this. But the real standout for me and what is my signature right now, because I wanted something like smoky and incensey. It's very strange. For a long time, like, I couldn't do dragon's blood incense. The scent of it would give me a headache, but something has shifted and I'm like obsessed with it right now. And it smells so good to me and I just kind of like want to wear it, but I want something smoky and like dank to go with it. If you know, you know, I guess. Like, I don't know how else to describe it besides that. Like, I wanted to feel a little dirty too. So I purchased this inviting pack where, from Seance Perfumes, where you could like choose, you get to choose this, I think I chose 3 or 4 different fragrances. And I purchased Decadence and Decay, which is not for me. It's too sweet. It's a little too gourmand. And then I also purchased Witching Hour, which I honestly haven't tried yet, so I cannot speak to that one. But the 2 that I really have loved so far are Cemetery and Natural History. And Natural History is going to, so they're like little sample sizes. And then you can purchase the full size based on if you like it or not. So I am going to be purchasing the full size of Natural History. And I think this is going to become my signature for right now. I don't know. Let me pull up what the scent signature is for that. All right, you guys are gonna die laughing because this basically is me. I mean, I think I bleed black tea. So it says, savor the knowledge of generations long forgotten. Aromas of leather and black tea are entwined together to invoke a library of bound atlases and almanacs, their aging pages ready to enchant a new generation with stories of faraway lands and mythical creatures. What was old becomes new again. The featured notes are old books. So, and I'm wearing it today. I wore it all weekend. And it really does feel like it's not too sweet. It's kind of like mysterious and smoky and unctuous. So Natural History is definitely going to become a signature for me, but I really have enjoyed purchasing from them, and I'm definitely going to be investing with them more. Very, very beautiful. Just if you're darkly inclined, it's for you, baby. You're gonna like it. So was there something else? Oh, the other scent thing that I wanted to share is I have been burning the Dracula, based off of Bram Stoker's Dracula horror movie request I made from October Occult. This is a new one because I've finished my other one. Oh my God, it smells so good. Musk, vetiver, cedar, casket, clove, and Transylvanian moss. I'll put the link to this down below, as well as the link for Seance Perfumes. With October Occult, you can get 30% off if you use the discount of my name. I will also put that in a link down below. The other kind of witchy practice thing that I did purchase for myself what is from an apothecary or a witch shop that I found on Etsy called Of Smoke and Soil. And I purchased some of her bath soaks as well as a few other things which are more related for ritual practice for me, so I'm not going to really go into that in this video because that's private. But the ritual bath soaks are amazeballs. So I purchased the Forest Witch, which as you can see I've used, and the Sea Witch, which I have not used yet because I'm saving this for Beltane. But this one is Epsom bath salts, French green clay, mint, lemon balm, juniper sprig, and pine cones. And oh my God, does it smell so good. I feel like I'm literally walking in the Darkwood Tarot, taking a bath with that. So this, absolutely gorgeous. And then this one, which I'm going to burn for Beltane, which I'm going to bathe in for Beltane, is Epsom bath salts, sea salt, Celtic gray sea salt, lemongrass, coconut shavings, botanicals, lime, and shells. And there's some bergamot in here. So this, I don't want to open it before Beltane because I'm going to bathe with this in the morning before our observance together for those of you who are joining me. But this, I'm super excited to work with. But yeah, I really love this witch's shop. Very, very special. Everything I purchased from her in this order is what you could tell very intentionally crafted and just absolutely beautiful. So I will put the link to her Etsy shop down below as well because that's been really, really special. I spent most of the month not wearing lipstick because of crying. Let's be honest. And I really missed it. So as I've been just kind of getting back more connected to routine and moving about in daily life again, putting lipstick back on has been a godsend. It has just been such a way to feel the energy and support of Lilith and Venus, of Isis, of Satan and Osiris. It's just been really, really profoundly, it's just felt like coming back to myself again. We've talked a lot about lipstick on this channel over the last few years, and I just think if you have an experience of really feeling more empowered and more of yourself when you wear it, there's just nothing like it. So to put lipstick back on again, I was like, okay, I'm coming back to being able to emerge from my cocoon, and I'm able to have conversations where I'm not weeping, which the weeping piece is a beautiful release. So please don't think I was trying to stop myself from that. But more just that it does feel good to stop crying as well when that time comes to say, okay, now I can go through a few hours without crying, and that feels really good. And so that to put lipstick on has just been like amazing. So I have been wearing a lot of Motetz Dam. This is Motetz Dam Sanguis color. This is out of stock right now though, so I'm not going to show that in this video. But the Dagger Beauty, oh my God, this crimson color, I have been wearing this and Motetz Dam's Bloodsucker like non-stop the last, I would say, 5 days. And I've really just felt like coming home and being myself again. But this red is incredible. So I will put links to both of those lipsticks down below in case you want to bring them into your own glamour magic practice. Because for me, glamour magic is the time of the day when I really just get to be connected in with the goddess, and we get to share 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes together every day, and nobody gets to bother us for that time. And color and aesthetic get to express the story we're telling together for that day. So then as far as eyeshadow goes, because I was doing a little bit more towards the end of the month with my eyeshadow, I'll be very honest, at the beginning of April, just because of what I was moving through and holding space for, I wasn't doing a lot of eyeshadow. But I wanted to share like what I've been using a lot, because you guys ask me all the time and it's fun too. The Gothferatu palette by Motetz Dam is one of my most used palettes personally. This can do everything if you need it to. If you have a lighter skin tone like I do, this can be contour, this can be eyeshadow, and I can even work some of the more red tones into blush for myself. So this palette is amazeballs. I think it's about to go into pre-order again. She sells out of this palette regularly. It's just so, the quality of her eyeshadows for my pH and my skin just lasts all day. I'm wearing this palette with this shimmer. I'll show you in one moment from the Nomad palette. But this is all the eyes today. I mean, it's amazing. It's just amazing. So that's like tried and true. So then the Nomad Travel palette, I like this palette a lot. I've talked about it in a witchy chat recently. This center shade here called Follow the Sun is what I have on my lids today. And yeah, it's amazing. I love this little mini palette, but their shimmers work really well on, again, on my pH level with my skin. So that phrasing didn't make any sense. But you know what? Here we are. Yeah, I really like this one. So if you're looking for a shimmer like you see me wearing today, this Nomad Travel palette is amazing for that. And then there were a couple other ones that I wanted to share with you guys. I've been on a Juvia's Place kick lately. Their lip oil is amazing too. So I use this palette all the time for contour. This shade right here, the Kana shade, is like my perfect contour. But this palette, this is one of the only palettes I've ever had to buy two of. This and Melt's Gemini. I have back stock of these babies because I never know when I'm going to run out, and I really, really, really love them. So this palette is another one like the Gothferatu palette, where if you travel, you can just take this and get everything here. You've got contour, you have basics, you have got some tones that you can use for blush here too. This color right here, love it so much. So that's like Gothferatu and the Warrior 2 are two palettes I can't live without. The other two I've been using a fair amount is Juvia's Place, the coffee shop. And when I wore this in the month of March on, there were a couple of videos I used this palette, and I get a lot of people saying, you know, sending me private messages asking like, oh my God, what palette are you using? This palette is really beautiful, and you can get a lot of use out of it. It's very reasonably priced as well. And the shimmers on this are really great. The shimmers from Juvia's Place, not as great for me as Nomad or Melt, but they're still really good, especially for the price point. And then the other little mini palette I've been using from Juvia's Place is the Chocolates. Oh my God, I love this palette so much. So I've been using this more for contour, these three tones, with the addition of this one for contour in my eye crease. Obsessed. Really, really great. So that's what I've been using makeup wise as I've moved from March into April. And then finally, we're going to talk books and we're going to talk music. So I haven't been reading a whole ton other than Jasmyne Ambrosia's book of Witchlight, and then this book, Leigh Bardugo's The Familiar, came out. And I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and I didn't realize I got this fancy edition with the black. Oh my God, I was so happy. And look at the inside, guys. Yeah. Yep. It's that amazing. Yes, this book is incredible. This is so good. If you like Leigh Bardugo, which you guys know I do, this book has not disappointed at all. Right now, I'm not super far in. I am about 25 pages in, but it's pulled me in for the little bit that I've been able to sit and read and not needed to move into a different space for myself. But it is about a girl who is a witch, and she also has Jewish blood, and how she's navigating the court that she gets kind of thrown into because of her mistress. But just the tone of how Leigh writes is so enjoyable and easy for me to read. It's very conversational. It's interesting. It's kind of like Jasmyne as far as like, I feel like train. I'll take a sip of tea while that's happening. I feel like I'm talking to a really great friend or a big sister, and it's just so comfortable. Like, I want to have a really great glass of Prosecco and just like enjoy the moment, right? And then of course, being the Taurus sun that I am, like, I want like some beautiful cheese and some chocolates and some really nice fresh crusty bread. I don't know. It's just the type of writing style where you really want to like sit down and hang out, and you want to spend at least a couple hours, and you get pulled into the story, and it feels very real. It feels very real. So I'm really enjoying this. I have not really been reading anything else. I don't want to pretend that I have been with you guys. I've needed something that really pulls me in, or something that was more focused on my practice, like Jasmyne Ambrosia's book, to get through the last few weeks. So music wise, I've already mentioned King Woman Celestial Blues, which I've talked about on the channel before, but also I've been kind of going through my Lana renaissance, which happens for me every spring when I can't stop listening to White Mustang and Money, Power, Glory. Did I say that right? Money, Power, Glory. Those are like usually my Lana songs, right? Also High by the Beach. But the difference this year is that I've also really gotten back into Lana Del Rey's original album, the first one, The Paradise. This is the larger LP that I'm showing you here, which has Ride and Cola and Blue Velvet on it. But the original Paradise LP I've been listening to a lot lately, which has like Blue Jeans and Diet Mountain Dew. And Vincent has been cracking up listening to it with me in the car too. So we've been listening to a lot of Lana, which is, I don't listen to Lana a ton anymore, but I go through spells with it. And so it's been Lana season here. We have been listening to lots of Lana, but like the old school Lana, which has been really fun. Ultraviolence will always be my favorite album by her. Of all time. I mean, Old Money. Oh, I had a wonderful best friend who was a Sagittarius back when, back in 2017, and Old Money always reminds me of her. So unfortunately, we are not in each other's lives anymore, but my goodness, do I get nostalgic when I hear that song and think of her. So yes, Ultraviolence, that's probably my fave Lana album. But right now we've been rocking the Paradise edition. And yeah, I've got to say, I'm enjoying it. That, and of course, for my hardcore peeps, which I know not as many of you love hardcore as a lot of the other music I listen to, but Noctilus has a new album coming out right around my birthday, and so I've been listening to a lot of Noctilus in preparation for that. I think Laugh Tracks will always be my favorite album by them, but I also love Different Shade of Blue as well, and so I've been listening to those a little bit too, just getting some of my moving through some of my anger with abandon when it comes to Noctilus. Also, Boundaries. If you do like hardcore, check out Boundaries' new album, because that has been amazing too. The lyrics to their songs in their newest album are just heartbreakingly beautiful. Just, oh my God, so beautiful. So I've been listening to that as well. But that's kind of what I've been enjoying this early spring. What I've been listening to, what I've been reading with personally. Like I said, that Death Doula Oracle, man, it's very, very special. So I'm going to have a video dedicated just to reviewing that coming to the channel very soon. But as always, I am sending each and every one of you oceans of love. Thank you for sharing this journey and community with me as the years go by. each and every one of you just becomes more and more dear to my heart. And it's just such a joy to get to share a path that is just deeply fulfilling and that grows and evolves as I go. And to be able to share that and to hear and see and witness all of your journeys as well is something profoundly beautiful. So again, I'm sending you oceans of love. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care.